Before lasers, bombs, or bullets, before generals, wars, or even pants, there was Og, and he had a stick. Weapon development began where all great innovations start. Accidents, arguments, and one guy trying to outstick the other. It was only a matter of time. From sticks to spears, from rocks to blades. And behind every leap, someone like Og asking, what if we hit it harder?
The age of metal had arrived. Wood and stone were fine, but some genius said, what if our weapons didn't splinter after 2 hits? Welcome to the Bronze Age, humanity's first metallurgy-fueled arms race.
Behold, the future of stabbing. Flat, shiny, and more stabby than anything we've ever stabbed with.
It bends when I poke clay with it.
It's not for clay. It's for enemies, like the Akkadians or accountants, depends on the situation. Oh, look, Kuron thinks bronze is the answer. I'll stick with copper, thank you. Softer, yes, but classic. That's what your enemies say when they snap your blade in half.
This was a time when upgrading your gear meant melting it down and hoping it didn't explode. Bronze was king. Until iron showed up and said, hold my ore.
Behold, iron. Harder, stronger, ruster. Yes, it rusts, but you won't live long enough for that to matter. We had to build a hotter furnace for this. Who even thought that was a good idea? A man who was very angry and very stabbed by bronze. The Iron Age wasn't just about swords. It brought the spearhead revolution, the chariot enhancements, and the first standardized weapons. That's right. Ancient version control. According to this, we're supposed to make every spear the same length now. Where's the fun in that? One guy has a short spear, other guy has a long one. Builds character.
Our new javelin bends on impact. Can't be thrown back.
Why would you miss in the first place?
With steel came discipline. Empires began to think like weapon manufacturers. Build it, test it, deploy it, repeat. And in the hands of Rome, it was a spreadsheet wrapped in a gladius.
We made it bigger. Less stabbing through. More survive the first hour. It's rectangular. Geometry. It's the new violence.
As steel took root, so did the ideas of structure, design, and tactical application. War was no longer chaos. It was product testing.
I call it the Great Sword.
You need 3 people just to lift it.
Exactly. That's what the squires are for.
From bronze ambition to iron obsession and steel precision, humanity's R&D labs kept one thing constant. If it's dangerous, it's worth perfecting. So you've built your fortress. Thick walls, high towers, and moats deep enough to drown a horse. But enemies? They don't knock politely. Enter the siege weapons. The medieval engineers' answer to, how do we smash this castle without dying trying?
If your catapult's off by a few degrees, though, say hello to your own castle walls as target practice.
Medieval R&D was a high-stakes game of trial, error, and the occasional, oops, we blew up our own men. No CAD software, just sweat, muscle, and plenty of swearing. In the search for immortality, one alchemist accidentally created something far more impressive: the power to blow things up. Because of course humanity invented fire, then invented how to throw it.
Note to self, charcoal, sulfur, and saltpeter, not a health tonic.
But very effective at deterrent. Also, roof now missing.
This happy accident? Gunpowder. At first, it was used for fireworks and ceremonial kabooms, until someone said,
What if we aimed that?
We call it the fire arrow. Also known as oops when it explodes in your hands.
How far does it go?
Depends on wind and luck and whether you insulted your ancestors recently.
Soon, gunpowder spread west like a spicy rumor. The Middle East got it, Europe got jealous, and by the 13th century, the cannon was born.
It launches 30-kilo rocks with fire. We call it the boomstick.
And how often does it explode our side?
Only during tests.
Early cannons were enthusiastic. Accuracy? Optional. Safety? Ha! But in siege warfare, they changed the game. Suddenly, walls weren't forever.
This baby can fire once every 3 hours, and when it does, say goodbye to walls, dignity, and the neighborhood.
Soon, we had hand cannons, matchlocks, and arquebuses, essentially pointy pipes that sometimes shot things and sometimes just exploded in your face.
Great news. We reduced the misfire rate to 40%.
That's still a coin toss.
Yes, but now it's a smoky coin toss.
Firearms were evolving, fast. Engineers added locks, matchlocks, wheel locks, flint locks, each one slightly less likely to kill the shooter.
Yes, it takes a minute to reload, but...
Then maybe carry 2?
Meanwhile, in Japan, they tried guns, said meh, and went back to swords. For a while. Very on brand.
1 cannon per ship? Nay, we line the whole side with them. Broadsides, baby!
By the 1700s, gunpowder had gone global. Muskets ruled the battlefield, cannons ruled the seas, and R&D ruled the budget. The age of explosives had arrived, and every lab, every kingdom, every wide-eyed engineer was asking the same question. What if we made it louder? The 19th century. Trains, telegraphs, and terrifyingly rapid fire. If the ancient world was about brute force, the industrial age was about scale, and inventors with mustaches and no fear of recoil.
Gentlemen, observe. 6 barrels, cranked, cooled, controlled. I call it the Gatling gun.
That's a lot of bullets.
Yes, that's the idea.
Invented in 1861 by Dr. Richard J. Gatling, the Gatling gun was the world's first successful rapid-fire weapon. It didn't just fire bullets, it vomited them in elegant mechanical rage.
You said this was portable.
It is, by 1860 standards.
It wasn't just about speed. The industrial boom brought precision machining, mass production, and something called logistics, which is Latin for send more ammo, now.
Our new bolt action fires 15 rounds a minute. Or 30 if you're very angry.
Where's the smoke?
Gone. We invented smokeless powder. Now your enemy can't see you. Very impolite.
Muskets were out. Rifles were in. And steam-powered warships meant the age of the cannonball was ending. Meet the ironclads, floating anvils with engine rooms.
We added armor. You can now bounce cannonballs.
We added a rotating turret. You can now shoot back while spinning.
Excellent. Minimal structural damage to enemy, not us.
Weapon R&D wasn't just about power, it was about systems. Logistics, industry. Entire nations turned into factories of war. And science didn't just march forward, it charged with bayonets.
This isn't a weapon, it's a suggestion.
And this? It's polite artillery. Goes over the trench. Doesn't need to say hello.
By the late 1800s, even ideas became dangerous. Chemical shells, machine guns, rifled artillery that could reach across cities, and engineers still weren't done.
What if the shell was bigger than a horse?
And who fires it?
Who says we fire more than once?
The industrial boom laid the groundwork for the most violent century in human history. Every factory, every forge, every genius in a coat was asking the same thing. What if we made it faster?
Reliable, elegant, low jamming rate.
Or just feed it until it screams.
Welcome to the Arms Race, Industrial Edition, where even the gear ratio could win a war. The Industrial Age gave us machines. The Great War taught us what happens when you point them all at each other. Welcome to Trench Warfare, the muddiest place innovation ever got stuck.
This is ridiculous. 6 months of development and it still doesn't fit in the trench.
What doesn't?
The gun. It's too long. It hits the opposite wall before we aim it.
Trenches were marvels of improvisation, dug with shovels, defended with barbed wire, and enhanced with what is technically called a complete lack of mobility.
I call this the Flammenwerfer. It does exactly what the name says.
And what does the enemy call it?
The reason to run.
World War I brought horrors. Gas, mortars, machine guns, but the real game changer rolled in with treads and a bad attitude.
We needed to cross trenches, crush wire, and not die. So we built the tank.
It's slow, it's loud, and it breaks down every 4 miles.
Yes, but it scares everyone, including us.
The tank, born in 1916, ugly, unreliable, and immediately better than nothing. France, Germany, Britain, everyone scrambled to improve it, which, of course, meant it got heavier.
It needs 4 drivers, 2 engines, and divine intervention to steer.
Perfect. Deploy it immediately.
While tanks lumbered across no man's land, another breakthrough was happening above the mud.
We gave it guns, and then asked, what could go wrong?
You shoot through the propeller.
Not all the time.
Thus was born the fighter aircraft. Part scout, part gunslinger, part miracle. And don't forget the bomber, because what's the point of flying if you can't drop furniture-sized explosives on someone?
We call this vertical diplomacy.
By the end of the war, every weapon had changed. Rifles had scopes, artillery was precise, planes fought planes, and the tank, once a metal curiosity, was the future.
No more trench stalemates. Next war will be fast, mobile, mechanized. We call it Blitzkrieg.
I miss the mud. You knew where everything was.
Between wars, R&D went into overdrive. Better engines, semi-auto rifles, tanks that actually moved, and planes that broke the sound of birds.
Armor angled. Gun large. Engine doesn't explode. We've peaked.
It's 1939 that feels ominous.
World War I showed us what stagnation looked like. The interwar years showed what preparation felt like. And every lab, bunker, and back alley workshop was now asking the question, what if war moved at Mach speed? Well, rockets got scary.
Heavy armor, big gun. The Tiger is a fortress on tracks. It's slow, but every step it takes screams, don't mess with me.
Sure, until it runs out of gas or breaks down in the mud.
Details, details.
Tanks became the kings of the battlefield. Germany's Tigers and Panthers, America's Shermans, and the Soviets' T-34s, each designed with different priorities: armor, speed, firepower, or sheer production numbers.
We can make a Sherman in one day. It won't be the toughest tank, but it will be there.
Quantity has a quality all its own.
But tanks weren't the only stars. The skies saw unprecedented innovation. Fighters, bombers, jets, and the birth of aerial dogfights that looked like metallic ballets on steroids.
The Spitfire's elliptical wings give it agility no one expected. It's like the plane learned to dance.
Let's see if it can tango with a Messerschmitt.
Fighter planes like the Spitfire, Messerschmitt Bf-109, and American P-51 Mustang pushed speed and maneuverability to new heights. And then, the Germans dropped the jet engine.
Meet the Me-262, jet-powered, faster than anything else in the sky. The future is here.
How soon till it's mass-produced?
Not soon enough.
World War II was a race to build better guns too. The American M1 Garand was the first standard-issue semi-automatic rifle. giving soldiers firepower like never before. Meanwhile, the Soviet PPSH-41 smothered enemies with a torrent of bullets, nicknamed the burp gun.
Simple, reliable, and nasty in close quarters. It's a symphony of lead.
And then came rockets and missiles. The Germans' V-2 rocket was a terrifying glimpse of space-age warfare, an unguided missile that screamed from the sky, delivering destruction with little warning.
It flies higher than any plane, faster than anything a man can pilot.
It's a bomb with wings, and it changes everything.
Behind every weapon was a team of men and women racing against time, resources, and often each other. Allies and Axis alike poured their brains, sweat, and sometimes souls into machines designed to kill and survive.
We're building a bomb unlike any before. If it works, it will end the war and change the world forever.
And they did. The atomic bomb was the ultimate game changer. A weapon so powerful it made all previous ones seem like children's toys. But with great power comes, well, you know. World War II was the crucible of modern warfare, a place where innovation was fueled by desperation, genius, and sometimes madness, from steel and gunpowder to jets and nuclear fire.
So, what's next?
Faster, deadlier, maybe with a computer on board.
I'm getting too old for this.
And that, dear listener, is just the start of the arms race. The next act? Welcome to the Cold War, where the weapons got smart and the world held its breath.
World War II ended, but the arms race didn't. The Cold War wasn't about open battlefields, but shadows, spies, and the constant threat of total annihilation. Weapon R&D morphed into a high-stakes game of chess, with nuclear knights and missile bishops.
Intercontinental ballistic missiles. The ultimate threat. Launch one wrong move, and it's game over for everyone.
And don't forget the submarines. Silent hunters lurking beneath the waves, carrying enough firepower to raise continents.
Meanwhile, the nuclear sword of Damocles hung over everyone's heads. But the real battles often played out in jungles, deserts, and cities. Proxy wars fueled by Cold War tensions.
Reliable, easy to use. It's the perfect weapon for the dense jungle and unpredictable fighting.
Can't kill what you can't catch.
The AK-47 became the face of modern guerrilla warfare. Mass-produced, rugged, and deadly simple. Meanwhile, the West pushed tech like night vision goggles, laser rangefinders, and early drones, turning battlefields into a digital chessboard.
Unmanned, fly over enemy lines, send back eyes, or deliver a precise strike without risking a pilot.
War without getting your hands dirty. Sort of.
As decades passed, weapons evolved from brute force to precision and stealth. The stealth bomber and the F-117 showed the world you don't have to be the loudest, just the hardest to see.
This material? It eats radar like candy.
Ghosts don't get shot down.
Missiles grew smarter, guided by satellites and computers. Cyber warfare entered the fray. Invisible battles fought in code and algorithms, where the weapon was often software, not steel.
Sometimes the best strike is one the enemy never sees coming. Hack their systems, shut down their power, confuse their drones.
Welcome to War 2.0.
From clubs to lasers, arrows to drones, the history of weapons is the story of human ingenuity and our stubborn desire to protect, conquer, or survive. The future? It's already here, in stealth tech, AI-guided munitions, hypersonic missiles, and yes, even robotic soldiers.
Will machines decide who lives and dies? We're not far off.
Let's hope they don't develop sarcasm.
One thing's for sure. As long as there are humans, there will be weapons, and those brilliant, stubborn minds pushing their limits, always chasing the next innovation. Because history doesn't stop, it just reloads.
So you thought missiles were fast?
Welcome to the era where speed doesn't just matter, it obliterates the concept of time. Hypersonic missiles, weapons that fly at 5 times the speed of sound or more. Mach 5? Child's play.
At hypersonic speeds, the air itself turns into plasma. Heat so intense, it could melt steel. So, step 1, build a missile that doesn't vaporize before it even reaches the enemy.
Thermal shields, advanced materials, and precision guidance, all packed into something that screams through the sky faster than your brain can process.
Forget dodging. By the time you hear the missile, it's already halfway to your doorstep. Hypersonics kill surprise and reaction time. They are the ultimate gotcha weapons.
Steering at Mach 10? It's like trying to turn a bullet mid-flight without breaking it.
That's why we use AI-guided controls. Machines reacting faster than any human pilot could.
Everyone wants hypersonic missiles. Russia, the US, China. They're locked in a new arms race. The prize? The power to strike anywhere on Earth in minutes, with barely any warning.
Hypersonic missiles don't just change warfare, they rewrite the rules. Defense systems need to evolve or become obsolete.
Hypersonic missiles are the wild cards of modern warfare. Fast, furious, and frightening. They push materials, physics, and human ingenuity to their limits, and maybe beyond.
Next step, hypersonic drones with laser cannons. Why not?
Please don't give the generals ideas. In the endless race for speed and power, hypersonics remind us the future of weapons is as fast as it is unpredictable.